Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one was inspired by a Zen proverb that says, "Seek not the truth, just let go of your opinions." And it's very simple because this is what we're pointing to always. What he's talking about, seek not the truth, is another way of saying, seek not what you already are. In other words, we can never negate our experience. It's just pure experience. That's all there is. It's not personal. It's just simply what is. Right now, can you say that you are not? Can you say you don't exist? Can you say you're not aware? And the answer is no, because that is what seems to be happening. So trying to think about it makes no sense. Are you aware right now? Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm aware. Do you exist? Let me think. Yeah, I think I exist. But you don't have to think about it. It's just so organic. See? Because it's what is. It's life. Life itself. The opinions, in other words, could be thoughts. You see? Right now the conceptual mind is constantly translating everything. But without it, what is left? Beingness. And that's what you are. That's what I am. That's what is. This is where this is pointing to. It's very simple. It's very obvious. You see? All we're noticing is how identified we are with thinking because of habit, because of conditioning. But in the end, all that there is what is. Everything is a story, related by the mind. If you don't believe the story, you are experiencing direct experience. That is peace. That is happiness. That is what is. Do not confuse happiness with pleasure. I'm just talking about the ever eternal experience of beingness. Joy is what is referred to. But I gotta be careful with those words because, again, we have certain definitions to them. Joy feels in a particular way. Happiness feels in a particular way. But it's not a feeling per se. It's just the ever-present experience of beingness, which is all the time. And if there's no identification with the conceptual mind, where is the worry? Where is the concern? Where is the fear? You see? Because life is. And that's the reminder always. We never cannot not be. You see? So now, as we become conscious of this, life is very simple. Life is simply taking care of itself. Life takes care of life. Concepts or concerns about how do I move through life, what do I do, completely dropped away because these are thoughts. Moving happens, doing happens. The Buddha used to say, actions are taken, I guess, deeds are done, but there's no doer thereof. Words seems to be expressed through the instrument, but I am not the instrument. I am. The instrument seems to be an expression, a limited expression of all there is. But in the end, I am. That's what we're reminded here. This is what we're constantly reinforcing over and over again, and doesn't need any reinforcement because it always is. It's just like there's so much distraction with the thought, with opinions. It's kind of more like a reminder. Remind whatever you're thinking is not true. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't identify with thought right now. Just for a moment, do not identify with thoughts and what is left. And it's not an answer. Because any answer is thought. I'm just pointing to the obviousness of what is. If there's no identification with the conceptual mind, with with the thinking process. I mean, I'm not saying that thoughts will not happen and they will not be useful for practical reasons, but within the context we're speaking here, if there's no identification with the thought, with thought right now, if you don't identify with the mind, with the content of the mind, okay, just be what is left. Well, that which is left is always what is. And as we, or I, or you, it doesn't matter, but you know what I'm talking about. As this recognition, it's seen, then you notice how simple life is. See how we're just moving, or it seems as though we're moving through life, but in reality we're being moved. And there's trust in life. See, when there's no trust in life, that's the fear, because the lack of trust is just a thought. You see, a suspicious thought. So we're not trying to engage with the mind thinking, trust life. No. Trusting life is just simply, we can even take the word out of the way and say it's just simply beingness. See how it unfolds. Only the thought can say, hey, look what could happen. Hey, this is weird, this is strange. Hey, no, what? This is thought. I'm not, again, this is not esoteric, this is very practical. I'm simply inviting, this is just an invitation. Don't identify it with the content of the mind, don't believe in it, just see thoughts as thoughts and simultaneously observe how you naturally move and do or don't do. When this investigation is made, then you realize that there's no me, there's no doer doing anything. Life is simply happening, and the mind, all it does is it translates the ever-present moment all the time. And the translation, has to do strongly with our conditioning. That's why the same scenario can be translated in many different ways. You see? 3 people who have different conditionings, they will translate the same scenario in different ways. One will find it exciting, the other one will find it boring, and the other one will find it scary. You see? But is the situation or the scenario scary or exciting or boring? No, it simply is. It's the filter of the mind that translates. So what we're doing here is to notice the filter of the mind so we can bring the attention back to presence. See? Resting presence. And that is what the Zen, at least to my understanding, it says let go of the opinions. Let go of the opinions. Let go of this interpretation. Just let it go. Just be. Simply watch life being. And in that sense, you are resting in truth, you see? Because you can never not be. And again, the word truth, we can take those words out of the way because it's our concept. It's just very simple, beingness. You see, life is again, words cannot, they may seem to point to, but in the end, they're limiting. They're leading us in circles because words belong to the mind. To the conceptual mind. What you are is beyond words. What you are simply is. And we use words to point to, and hopefully, as the recognition is experienced by who, right? But again, limitation of language, then becomes very obvious. And when you wake up in the morning, wake up so to speak, when the character wakes up in the morning, then the scene of the play begins to unfold. I don't know what I'm going to think. Consequently, I don't know what I'm going to say. Consequently, I don't know what I'm going to do. But life, which is the essence, beingness, which is what is, will take care of whatever needs to be done through this seeming instrument. You see? And this is the space that is, always is, that we're pointing to, you see, which is really, it's not pointing to something out there, it's pointing to the obviousness of what is. And that's what is being reminded here. So let's put it to the test. Let's not, this is not esoteric, this is not theoretical, this is very simple. Right now, do not identify with the content of the mind. Let the thoughts be there, that's fine, they can be there, it doesn't matter. The sky is not concerned whether clouds are in you know, within it or not. Sky is just skying. So right now, just don't identify with the content of the mind. Just notice the beingness, which is what you are. Just notice. You see? This is it. This is, see, there's no mystery. This is it. That's the I am. The I am that is means so much to talk about. But we can reduce it to the I. Not a personal I, you know, just the experience of existence. That's the I. That's the original I. That's the only I that there is. Until the conceptual mind identified with feelings, sensations, and they say these feelings, these thoughts, this perception is who I am. And that's when when the character I person is developed, is believed in, put it this way. But at any moment this is not for me to talk about it with anyone, because again, we're missing the mark. You're just being, and if talking about it happens, that will be a very natural, organic experience, but it's not something I have to do. I don't have to tell anybody about this. There's no one. Right now, this is it. And you may say, well, what are you doing videos? I don't know. I don't need to know the answer to that. All I know is that doing videos or making videos happens through this instrument until they no longer happen. Maybe they'll happen for the rest of the seeming existence of this character, or maybe this will be the last video that will be made. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that this is what seems to be happening, but it's not personal, because I am. And in that sense, you could say that I'm resting in truth, just as you are, if we don't identify with the concept of the mind. See? And that's why truth needs not to be thought or sought. You know? The path of seeking, I guess. You don't have to seek truth. You are already it. That's it. Just let go of all your opinions. And there it is. Okay, well, this is what it was inspired through this instrument. I don't know, life doing whatever it's doing through this seeming character. Hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.